Hey, welcome back, RJB here. And as you can see with the video title, I've decided to recast some of my old videos because some of my old videos have some really amazing replays, but a very low amount of viewers. And I thought it was a waste to have those amazing replays be wasted, basically, on those videos that nobody ever sees or will ever see. So I might as well just recast them with a higher quality microphone and of course a higher quality casting performance. At least so I hope. I hope I have improved from those days. But you know, you are the judge. You're the judge of whether I have or haven't. In the end, I'm doing this just for fun. So Light here starts off with what appears to be a mech build order, which I heavily criticized Hamburger Sasu for not too long ago, because Hamburger Sasu kind of tends to fall flat on his face when he does a mech build order in Terran vs Protoss. His opponent here is E.Hazard. I'm not sure who E.Hazard is, I never managed to find out his identity, but he is a solid and formidable player that you most certainly cannot underestimate. Starts off with the standard build order, of course, with 2 gateways into a pile-netted choke and a nexus coming out soon as well. That's actually potentially dangerous for Light here. I'm not sure how this interacts here in this scenario in particular, because 2 gateways are not that strong against mech opening. If he had, for example, 3 gateways or started off with Dragoons, the mech opening would be absolutely terrible. But because most of the time Protosses go for 2 gateways and a nexus, or a nexus into a gateway into a forge and cannons in the front, mech openings are generally not bad. Generally, of course, generally speaking. But the downside of a mech opening is you don't have a big economy, because you split up your workers very early into the game and put them on the gas, so you have a lot less workers mining than if you didn't get this early gas. So you really have to get a return on your investment into that mech, into those tanks, into those vultures, in order to not get outscaled economically by the Protoss, who starts off with a very early nexus, which of course gives them a lot more probes, a lot more workers, a lot more income than you have with your split up workers and your very late +1 command center. Sometimes players who go for a mech opening don't even go for a +1 command center, and they are forever stuck on a single command center. Pretty much always broke compared to the Protoss. This situation here, though, is kind of risky. There's a very early starport coming out here from Light. He's building it in the bottom corner, trying to keep it away from the vision of those Zealots. Zealots there engaging on the Vultures. He came in a little bit late. Vultures there going for great micro there. Light has amazing micro. He's one of the best micro players amongst all the normal map players. I mean, he's even won a KSL, so without a doubt, goes to say he is an amazing player. One of the best players in the world right now. And so with ease, he out-micros the Zealots, does some multitasking at the same time as well. And Hazard is looking to go for Dragoons, it appears, because he's adding on more gateways. He has, wait, that's a robot facility. So with a robot facility, he will not be able to afford Dragoons. And I don't think he saw the starport, so he doesn't know what Light is up to. Light there repairing the Vulture. Important little detail that might just help him win the next fight. More Zealots? No, Dragoons. In fact, he did go for Dragoons. I am absolutely, completely blind. I thought he wouldn't be able to afford it, but I should have just looked at the production tab. So 2 Dragoons are on the way, but he's got 2 tanks there as well. So he only made 2 Vultures and added on 2 machine shops, which is extremely risky. But he wanted the siege tank and the tanks out on the map very early and quickly. Control tower is finished. He's getting a very early dropship. This is one of the fastest dropships we've seen. We saw Hamburger's House do a fast dropship against Trisha yesterday as well. But that didn't really work out because he got intercepted. And I think that he might get intercepted by the Dragoons here as well, because those Dragoons are, of course, capable of doing exactly that. But he is going to fly around, or is he going... he's going to unload the tanks up on the hill. That's what... 5 minutes, and he already has 2 tanks up on the hill. That's very, very quick. Only a single cannon there in the front. Does have 4 gateways now. He still has the goons there on the way. He's got Observer on the way as well to deal with the mines. You got the goon range there also being researched. He's put vultures into the base. Now this is looking interesting. He's killing the cannon. He comes in with the vultures to finish up the cannon to make sure it goes down. Places the mines are in the front. So now he has a free entrance into the base. More tanks unloading in the base. The goons are being forced back. More mines are being placed, ready to zone those goons away. Observer has finished though, but so many mines, and the tank in the back as well. He's picking up the tanks from the hill, sending those tanks into the base. The moon range is almost finished. He is making Templars Archive as well to get our Templars out of the map. He's putting the tanks in between the mines. The tanks are going to peel away at the outer layers of E.Hazard's base. And pretty much everything that spawns out from these gateways will get instantly attacked by anything, by these tanks and the vultures. More vultures coming into the base. This is already looking like a very high action-packed game. This is exciting stuff. This is stuff we have never, ever before seen someone do. This is really brilliant, really smart. And of course, it is Light who is doing it. So it comes in with another dropship. This dropship is a single tank, so there's 4 tanks now in the base of E.Hazard. Can E.Hazard make a comeback? He does have a shuttle out of the map, but the Reaver is not yet there. The Reaver should be on the way very soon. He's making our Templars first, so the Templars are on the way. The Templars are going to deal with this, but does he have a scan? He has no scan, but he does have mines. He's got a engineering bay on the way to build turrets, so he's maybe gonna build turrets here in the base. He's placing mines though. Mines are great against our Templars. He's gonna try to take down the mines with dragoons. The Templar comes in. Templar is taking down the tank. Raids are coming in to take care of the shuttle. What is this man doing? He's gonna go for the probes. He's gonna get himself on the probes. He's running away from the mines come in. 6 kills. He got 6 kills. The tank shot on the probes only got 6 kills. He killed probes right in between 2 stacks of probes instead of killing all the probes. That's very close and so extremely lucky for E.Hazard. Like, if Light had just clicked half a second later, he would have killed like 24 probes, maybe even more, and the game would have been over, and Light would have just been able to run Hazard over without much effort. But now the game is looking to be in a tight spot here, in my opinion. Because a lot of units there were lost for Light. He does have a tank there up on the hill to defend himself from frontal attacks. But there's our Templars, Dragoons, and a lot of money in the bank here for E.Hazard, who's now filling out his base with more gateways, filling out his tech, and Light cannot attack to capitalize on that push, because there's so many units now in E.Hazard's base, and Light only has 2 tanks, 5 vultures, and 3 raids. So that's not a whole lot. Not a whole lot of punching power. Putting tanks on the hill there once again. Shuttle comes in. Shuttle is unloading their Templars. They are in the base. There's turret there on the bottom corner, but the turret's going to go down before it finishes. This Templar is aiming to go for the back there, but there's a turret there as well. So he's going for the starport instead. Going for the target that he can attack without getting detected whatsoever. Putting mines around starport, but the mines are a little bit too far away. Will this one trigger it though? He's killing the turret there on the side. The turret's gonna go down. So no detection still in the base here for Light. No scans either because he didn't build an academy. You don't really need an academy when you're going for a mech. Up until, of course, a little bit later in the game, you do need it for scans and information gathering purposes, but he didn't felt that he needed one. So a little hole has been opened here on the bottom side for a shuttle to fly in. Raids are responding. Raids are a little bit too slow. Templar's going to load there right next to the minerals. The minerals gets stormed. He gets a storm on the SCPs. He kills 15 SCPs there before pulls them away. That's disastrous. So now he's even at a bigger deficit than he was just earlier. And E.Hazard's side count has grown significantly. It's now 136 against almost 100 supply from Light. Now Light does have tanks here up on the hill, but all that E.Hazard has to do is pick up some zealots, put them in a shuttle, and unload the shuttle here up on the hill, and those tanks up on the hill will be rendered useless as they get taken down by those zealots. The raids are there though. He's preparing himself for drop defense. He's got Goliaths in the mix as well. He's getting Karen boosters for his Goliath range. There's a tank drop here on the bottom side of the map. Tank drop is moving in, but E.Hazard is looking to attack right here, right now. No, E.Hazard is turning around because he sees the dropship with the pylon, so he's turning around, ready to intercept it, and his drop It's gonna fall flat. Now, Light used his scan on the base, so he saw those Dragoons moving to intercept, so he just decides to pull away from there, although Dragoons now are moving into this little bottom portion of the map, ready to kill and intercept those tanks, but there's... Well, that's not the word tanks, but they're not tanks, so he's gonna kill the dropship, gonna kill the tanks, and those tanks are gonna be forfeit nonetheless. So E.Hazard still growing, he's massive at the moment, he's got Zealot Speed finished, he's got level 1 weapon attack there on the way. A couple of observer upgrades as well. Tank up on the hill is shooting on the gateway. He's got a lot of zealots with speed coming in hot, unloading the zealots there up on the hill. Only a single one. Another one there on the other hill. Now I'm gonna unload these ones behind the hill, although behind the wall. He's getting through the wall. Vultures behind the wall are having some trouble, but looks like the zealot there up on the hill got killed by the vulture. There's some great attention to detail there from Light. The other tank there went down, but now it's breaking through the wall. Tanks are shooting onto the Dragoons. Dragoons are breaking through level. The Zealots are coming in from the side as well, but they're having trouble getting on top of the tanks because they're getting distracted by the tanks on the hill. Templars unloading on the fight here though, but they don't have anything for Storm just yet. They do now. Soon they will storm on the Goliath or the tanks, I'm sure. Storm comes down, he misses the Storm, gets sidestepped by Light, who sidestepped the Micros backwards. Great micro there on display, but so many units coming in from the base. Will Light be able to keep up with this macro from E.Hazard, who is now running on full throttle? Placing mines there in Minchul, trying to keep those zealots away, but so many zealots are coming in that it's simply too hard for the mines to really set in and duck into the ground. Archon is finished there in the front as well. He's breaking through, he's killing stuff on the side there. Got more units here in the back. He's microing really well, keeping almost all of his units there in the back alive, though now he's going to have to try and secure the front. But another wave of units is already on the way, and he does not have enough SCVs in the front to keep those units out of his base. So he's going to try to buy some time there with the Vultures for his tank to set up and siege up, but the Zealot and Troops are coming in. There's more Templars are on the way as well. His upgrade for level 1 weapon has finished. He's got a shuttle there on the way in his base as well. Swarms on the tank. Storm's doing so much damage to the tanks, and that is absolutely disastrous for Light. Maybe a bit of a heavy language I'm using there, but this game couldn't be going much worse. Because the start was so amazing from Light. I believe Light should have won it, but it was kind of a freak accident. He only killed 6 probes with the 2 tank shots on the probes in the base. If he had killed more, we would be looking at a completely different situation. But sometimes all it takes is a little bit of luck, and the game just flips around in the favor of the other player. Tank up on the hill, units are getting through. His upgrades are all... He's got a level 1 weapon upgrade for his tanks finished, but so many units coming in. And the mines there are going to explode on tanks as well. Yes, he's exploding on the tanks. The Zealots are so scary at this phase in the game. More stuff is coming in, more tanks being put on the hill. They might slow down his push, his advance from E.Hazard just a little bit, but there's so many units in the base. There's only raids, there's only vultures, and I don't see... Oh, he's got a storm drop there on the way as well. There's Templars inside it, but he's going to take it down. He's chasing it with the raids. He's unloading it, storming on the raids. The raids are running away, but the raids are taking so much damage, but they're still alive. Somehow they are still alive. Tanks are spawning in the back, wolves are spawning in the back, but more units are coming in, and we're looking at half the supply of E.Hazard for Light here. And Light, I don't think it's going to make it. He's repairing the tank up on the hill with SCVs, and he dropped onto the hill, but it won't be enough. It won't be enough. This one, a drop is coming in. 2 Reavers making their way in all the way, unloading because there's a turret in between, so he shoots on the tanks. Tanks are going to go down. 2 shots at the Reavers, and the Reavers are now inching closer on the SCVs. He's taking on the bunker first. Honestly, I don't think he even has to hit those SCVs, because look here in the front. He's just walking in there. He's just going to take this all down, mow it all down, put an end to this once and for all. These SCVs are now all on top of the SCVs, and Light calls GG, I think, or believe, and leaves the game. And it's a victory for E.Hazard, who somehow makes a freak comeback that shouldn't have been possible. Missing all those probes with the siege tank shots, hitting right in between 2 stacks of probes. I'm going to rewind it and just show it, because you wouldn't believe me if I just said that he missed it. It was an absolute freak accident. It happens a little bit prior to this moment. Just a little bit prior, right here. It's going to happen. I'm going to pause it right as he shoots onto those probes, just so you can see what happens. So you see all these probes right here. It's a lot of probes right on top of each other. Like, if he shot now, he would have killed this entire block, but as the game progresses. Kills 9. He kills 9. This one has 5 kills, but it's mostly unit kills. So he killed 9 probes. Maybe he killed a couple less, but the point is, he missed almost all the probes. He killed almost no probes at all. For how much he invested into this attack, which is absolutely amazing. It's an amazing attack. Amazingly well executed. And honestly, it should have won the game for him right here. It should have been a 7-minute Terran versus Protoss win with a mech build order for light. But this is just such a freak accident. This is one of those cases where all the probes should have died, but somehow, he kills only a few of them. This is gonna be the I'm just gonna make that the thumbnail, because this is an amazing thumbnail. Looks amazing, so much action going on. So yeah, that's the first recast that I wanted to do. I'm gonna do a second recast right now. I'm gonna look for one first, which might take a while, but you won't notice the time it takes to look for that replay. And for game number 2, we have SH. Oh no, SH is the observer here. My bad. We've got good bad news here on the top of the map. It's gonna switch out vision for SH. We've got good bad news here on the top corner of the map, playing the yellow Protoss, and he's up against Kim Sang-duk, who is known as Minchul. Now I don't know who good bad news is, but I've casted his reaper before, and he's a really good player. And I think most players by now know that Kim Sang-duk or Minchul is also an amazing player, particularly on the Terran. I think like just 2 or 3 videos ago, Minchul just showed off an amazing Terran. An amazing Terran against 458. Using the name High Roller. And it was really a beauty to behold. His decision making was just insanely good. Insanely good. Something you don't really ever see from anyone else. So good bad news here, starting off with a build order that I cannot yet identify. I can't identify. That's a gateway. That's another gateway. 3 gateways there in the choke. He's going for a rush. He's going for a gateway rush. And instead of building them on the middle, he's building them in his choke, which I don't really like. I'll be very honest, I don't really like these gateways here in the middle. But he's got some luck on his side, because he immediately finds his opponent Minchul here right next to him. But Minchul went for an 8-10 barracks build order, which gives him Marines about 14 seconds quicker than if he went for a 9-10 barracks build order. Maybe even 15 seconds quicker. And the Zealots, I believe, are going to be out a little bit later than usual, because usually players make 2 gateways, and then it takes a while before they have the money for the 3rd gateway and the 2nd pylon. But he made 3 gateways there at the same time, which means he waited a little bit longer with making that 1st gateway. So he might not have the same amount of punching power with his Zealots as you would usually have with this build order. So he switched it up a tiny little bit. But he's going to try to go for it nonetheless. He's got a Forge there on the way, so he's going to go for a cannon push. He's going to take the Probe there in the base. Probe is running away, of course. Zealots are on the way. Zealots finds an SCV. SCVs are returning to the base, ready to build some bunkers. There's the bunker. There's no gas, no academy out yet. So he will only have to rely, and he can only rely on Marine Micro and maybe some SCV Micro as well, but he's got, I think that's about 7 Marines there ready to fight against 3 Zealots, so with some great Marine Micro, he can probably win this fight. He's gonna go for the Probe there, and maybe first, nope, he's gonna commit to the Zealots first. More Zealots are on the way from the middle, from the base. He didn't get a kill yet, but he's microing himself out of the situation, growing, getting closer towards the bunker. Great Micro there on display, kills 2 Zealots, and only loses a single Marine, although this Marine there on the side also gets microed to safety. Goes down now eventually though. So he does trade off a couple of Marines there for 2 or 3 Zealots, but now on the way, ready to fight that. The Zealots here. The Zealots are only on low HP, but he still commits to it and loses a couple of his Marines. But the Marines there are now turning back around. He's gonna go for the Probe first. He's gonna go for the cannon first. He's killing a cannon there on the side with his FCVs. Great multitasking, great awareness. Kills the cannon right before it finishes and can shoot its first shot. And that is a very easily and almost effortlessly defended rush from the Protoss. So the Protoss there gets shut down instantly. Now I think Minchul is making a mistake by killing that pylon there in the base instead of going for an instantaneous counter-attack, because now he won't have enough zealots, marines, to fight into the zealots that are going to be spawning very soon. There's 2 cannons are on the way as well, and now there is a surround on the marines from the zealots, so that marines cannot enter this choke point, because if they do, the zealots will come in from behind, and these will come in from the front, and they will get pincer attacked by those zealots and have nowhere to go, and a micro won't be all that effective in such a tiny space when surrounded by your enemies. So this cannons will finish there in the base. He's got 2 Gaster on the way in the base already. He's got a Cybercore on the way as well. So he's probably going for very fast robotic facilities right after he has those cannons and these zealots all up and running. So he's transitioning the rush that failed into a dropped build order. But the drops are going to be a little bit slow unless he gets some marine kills right here, right now. He can't really go in. He can't really go in. The micro from Minchul is superb, keeping his marines away from harm time and time again. Stim upgrade is now on the way as the academy is finished. He's got 2 command centers on the way as well, which is really greedy. Because in this situation, you might want to capitalize on surviving that rush from the Protoss, which took him a lot of minerals, and maybe go for an early counter push, but he wants to get rich. He wants to build up, get rich, get richer than the Protoss, and go for a counter attack. But the micro here is great, putting his marines in between the tight narrow space in the barracks so that zealots cannot attack the marines. But now he's overextending a little bit too much, forced the micro away from the zealots once again, but he's now getting the top of the marines. He's losing a lot of marines here in the process as well. And that could have been played better by Minchul, but in the end he comes out on top. And now he's going to build a choke here in the front. He's got a barrack being built there on the side. He's going to hover that into Good Bad News' base, but I think Good Bad News will spot it out because he's got vision here on the side thanks to his support bay and the pylon. So that barrack don't really has anywhere to land. And I think some cannons are going to be coming in here on the Nexus as well. More gateways are being added on. So 2 robos, support bay. Oh, scan comes out. He sees the main, sees the gateways. He didn't see all this here in the front though, so maybe Minchul right now does not have an accurate read on how far into the build order Good Bad News actually is. Up until he flies the barrack up onto the hill and sees these robos and the support bay. But I assume that right now, Minchul is feeling somewhat safe. So 2 more barracks are coming in. Now that is because on the 12th spot and the 6th spot on this map, you need more marines to defend against dropships or shuttles, because there's simply more surface area to cover in the corner spot. On the corner spot, you've only got this area here and here that drops can be coming in from, so you put your marines there and there on those 2 spots so that you can move them anywhere in the base and intercept shuttles. But when you're on the 12th spawn, you would need marines here in the top corner on the right, well, the left, you're on the bottom of the base and on the right side of the base. Because if you put marines here, they won't be able to travel fast enough here into the middle of the base to intercept shuttles. Likewise, the same counts for the right side. Those marines cannot travel to the middle of the base quick enough to intercept shuttles, so you need more marines, and that's why he's going for 5 barracks. But first we have an attack coming in here from Good Bad News. There's a shuttle there with 2 Reavers in it. Marines are micro towards the shuttle. Shuttle is still dancing back and forth. He kills a couple of marines. He picks up both shuttles at the same time and running away from those marines. The shuttle barely stays alive. He used the scan on the hill so he could still shoot up on the hill. That's very good thinking from Minchul there. Dropship is finished. He's killing the depots in the front, but the tank sieges and moves a little bit closer to the bunkers, a little bit closer to Reavers, and from now on it can shoot on the... Oh wait, he loaded up marines. He's putting them up on the hill. That's actually pretty smart. Putting him up on the hill. Wait, he's going for the chase. He's going for the chase. He's going for the chase on the shuttle. He's killing the shuttle. The shuttle stays alive! Barely! Both marines went down instantly. The shuttle only has 4 HP left. Picks up both the Reavers, and he tried to kill the shuttle so that he would kill both Reavers, and it would only cost him 2 marines. But Good Bad News is pretty aware. He's on point. He's on point now. The rush was bad. But now he's definitely on point. So there's 3 Reavers that are in the base of Minchul, and he's now flying over more Zealots to support those Reavers. So a lot of Zealots are in the base, getting on top of the tank. Marines are coming in to protect the tank. The Raver is getting close to the tank. The Scarab does not the Scarab connects somehow. So the tank goes down. He killed all the units here. He killed all the units here in the base. That's Minchul. Minchul has no units left. He's got a couple of units there in between the barracks, but it's just absolutely disastrous. So even after the beautiful early game, Good Bad News comes out on top here and gets a huge damage down on Minchul, killing a lot of units. Now he's got a frontal attack coming in. He's attacking on the side as well. There's a Reaver inside the shuttle. There's Marines in it as well. Zealots in it as well. He kills almost. He attacks the shuttle. Shuttle unloads. The Reaver is too far away. He's trying to shoot on the turret. He hits the Marine there instead. Hits the turret there as well. But now Marines coming in from the back. That's more Marines going down there. These Marines are very low HP. He needs to manage to heal them up. He attacked in the front. He didn't really do all that. No, he didn't attack in the front. He pulled back. He decided not to attack in the front. So another drop there coming in. This is non-stop dropping. Flies those Zealots in and unloads them here as he comes closer to the SCV. These are running away because you never know if there's Templars or Reavers in there. There were no Reavers and Templars in there, but as a Terran, you never know. So he's forced to pull his SCVs up the minerals and get some lost mining time. Even though he has more workers, he is with his back against the ropes. 4 shuttles there, so this time around he can load up a lot of units. 2 Reavers on the way there as well. He scans. Units are coming in. Units are being flown into the Terran base. Still loading on top of all those units. There's no Templars in there. Only Marines, only Zealots, and the Zealots are everywhere. Zealots are everywhere on top of the bunker, on top of the barracks, on the factories, in between, killing Marines everywhere. There's no units that are left at the back at all. He's got free fire on the SV. He's going for the SV there indeed. Loading up more units there and back in the base. The 2 Reavers have not yet finished. He's being so quick with these attacks. Raid there comes in. Raids are helping. They're trying to help to kill these Zealots, but there's so many of them. And there's no units in the front. He's got 2 tanks there. He's got more tanks spawning, more Marines spawning. His medic spawning as well to help heal up those SCVs, but this is absolutely madness. He's getting overrun by units that are being shuttled into his base, and there's not much he can do here. He's making firebats now as response to the Zealots, and his firebats will take down those Zealots, of course. He's putting them in the bunker because he's got to keep them alive. He cannot afford to lose them. He's lost already about 20 SCVs to those Zealots, hammering away with their side blades on his SCV health bars. Doing a great job there. He did lose the shuttles there in the end, so there's a small little bit of a window for Minchul to try and recover. He's got 4 tanks now. He's making more Marines. Storm upgrade is on the way there for Good Bad News. Level 2 weapon attack is also on the way. No, it's level 1 weapon attack still. And he has not really built a big base, but he's been spending his money really well and attacking non-stop on this base from Minchul. And Minchul is having a really tough time. He's going to unload those units on top of the tanks. 2 Reavers on top of the tank. The tanks cannot shoot on the Reavers. He's killing most of the Reavers there with 2 Scarab shots. He kills all the Reavers there with the Scarab shots. He's on top of the bunker there though. The Reavers are going to go down eventually to these raids. The Reavers have gone down, but they've done their job. They've killed the tanks, they've killed the Marines, they've killed the bunker. His beasts are still alive, they got pulled to safety, but a lot of lost mining time once again. Minchul is not in a state where he can even build a base. He's forced to just keep spending the little bit of money that he has to build more units to stay alive. Another drop there comes in from the side. He's getting intercepted by a raid, he gets intercepted by Marines, but the Templar there, a low Templar storm. Templar kills all the Marines, only 1 Marine left alive. He killed the second shuttle there as well, so at least he killed both shuttles, but it cost him the remaining bit of his Marines there. He's building new bunkers there in the back. He has to build a new machine shop in order to build more tanks from this factory. That's also disastrous. He's got Cloak on the way now as well. The loading units are up on the top to kill those Marines there in the front. Raids are hunting for the shuttle, but this might be a little bit too greedy because there's so many Dragoons there in the back, and he winds up losing it. He winds up losing a dropship as well. Ooh, if he had kept those raids alive, he could have sniped some of those shuttles as they come flying in, but now there's only a single raid alive. He's making... He's not making more. Frontal attack coming in here with Dragoons. He already put his tank up there in the front, so those Dragoons are not going to break through. But another drop there coming in for the back as well. He's getting attacked everywhere at the same time. Units are unloading on top of the SCVs, but there's no Templars in there. But he's forced to pull away once again, because you never know if there's a Templar or a Reaver in there. You never know. You just never know. You just have to account for it. So he got in the base once again. He's killing stuff in the base once again. But this time around, it looks like Minchul managed to keep most of the units alive. Because he's got 2 bunkers there in the back. But the tank in the front is taking some damage, taking some fire from the Zealots. And from his own tank as well. microing the tank away, but the tank is gonna go down. The tank goes down to its own tank shot, but this time around, a mass drop unloaded here right next to the SCVs there. Doesn't even a Templar. He's got 2 Templars in the mix. Templars and Settlers there in the mix. Dragoons are on top of it as well. He storms, he kills 6 SCVs. That's not that painful, but there's so many units here that this Templar there didn't storm. The Templar in the back did not storm. But first he has to clear out all these units. He has to clear out the Templar there in the back, which protected all the units, and now he kills the Templar. SCVs are back on the minerals, but once again, he's out of minerals. Good Bad News has not been spending his minerals at all, but he's been spending his minerals on just what he needs, dealing just enough damage to Minchul, and Minchul is having such a difficult time keeping up with the pace. Both players are completely ignoring their minerals. Well, Minchul is not ignoring his minerals, he's spending it as it comes in, but he doesn't have much to spend. Good Bad News, on the other hand, is just throwing out attacks non-stop, ignoring his income. Unloads a lot of units there on the... Gets a beautiful storm on the Marines. He's going to get a beautiful storm on the tanks as well. This is a lot of units. There's so many Templars. I don't see Minchul hanging in there with so many Templars there in the back. And is using these Dragoons and Zealots to protect those Templars so that nothing can get on top of those Templars. So they can keep storming those SCVs there time and time again. Gets a couple of SCV kills there in the back. He's got 2 of them. This is 6 Marine kills. He's got another Templar there all the way in the back, sitting and waiting to strike and storm those SCVs. Another drop there in the base being loaded up. He's never getting about. Oh, this Templar coming in. Gonna get the storm up on the SCVs. He gets the storm on the SCVs and kills all the SCVs. That's 47 SCV kills, and Minchul there leaves the game. That's exactly a 15-minute win there for Good Bad News over Minchul, who could not keep up with the non-stop attacks from Good Bad News, who just played an amazing Protoss despite the absolutely terrible rush attempt. His shuttle play was just so amazing to watch, and look at it, he's got 6,000 minerals, but his attacks were just so stupidly strong that Minchul just couldn't keep up with the macro. He couldn't keep up with his non-stop attacks. He couldn't even build a single structure. From the moment he got attacked by the Reavers the first time, he could not build a single structure after that one. He was just non-stop spending, non-stop recovering, non-stop defending, non-stop pulling those SVs away from the minerals, and non-stop losing units. The pressure never ever ended. And that's a beautiful win there for Good Bad News, who I expected to be losing when I saw him fail that rush, but he played that one really well. He recovered from it, made the right choices, and abused Minchul to a degree I have rarely seen someone get abused in a Protoss versus Terran. So I hope you like this one. I hope you come back for another video. I will do a couple more old recasts in the future, because there's still about, I think, 10 or 12 replays that I wasted in my early casting days, but which I hope to rectify in my current casting days and bring to you with more hype, more excitement, and in higher quality than before. Thanks for watching, and goodbye. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a subscribe, and have a good day.